I tried to get Kathy to come clean during the next few weeks, and all I get is gaslighting. I even point blank tell her that if I find out she is cheating, there is no going back. This has the opposite effect of driving her deeper into her affair fog and blistering me in denials. The denial is so bad, it almost made me laugh. I have no physical proof of her cheating and kick myself for not at least taking some photos of the two of them. As I go through this mental agony, I come to the conclusion that I want out of this marriage. Rather than let Kathy know how I feel about things now, I just start making plans. I started stealthily taking my belongings out of the apartment while she was at work and moving them over to the trailer. This at least makes me feel like I'm taking action. I did notice a change in Kathy during this time, and has been acting nicely around me. But in my mind, too little, too late. As she continued her little company outings after work, I decided I too needed a break. In fact, as she was heading out for the evening, I also got dressed around the same time. She looked at me and asked where I was going. I just said I was meeting up with some friends. She started to ask, and I just told her she didn't know them, and she wouldn't enjoy all the shop talk. This is exactly what she would tell me when I would ask if I could join her at one of her office outings. She kind of had a hurt look on her face and says, "Okay, have a nice time." I said, I definitely would. Between working on the trailer and meeting up with Ray at the bar, I have started to make more friends. In fact, it has led to some fun times with a great group of Ray's friends and family. And in case anyone asks, I decided I would moderate my drinking so I don't develop any bad habits. It would be so easy to drown myself in pity. About this time frame, Kathy tells me she has to go on a trip for work the following week. I ask her who is all going, and she tells me the executive team and some department heads. I just look at her and tell her, I hope she has a really great time with her boyfriend. I kind of wish I hadn't said that. It started a lot of arguing back and forth. In a lot of ways, I wish I knew more about her AP. But as Ray put it to me, in the long run, it doesn't matter who the other guy is. It only matters that she decided to step out on you. She burned down the marriage. She can own it or deny it. But facts are facts, brother. Damn, Ray should write this stuff down and publish it for the betrayed. Her work trip provided me with the opportunity to move the rest of my stuff out completely, so after Kathy left for her trip, I gathered everything I had left of any value and put it in my vehicle. I'm not taking any furniture or the like, so it's just clothes and work computers and equipment. Before I left, I had written a note that I was going to leave for her, but after rereading it, I decided I would just make it simple. I grabbed a piece of paper and wrote, "I hope it was worth it." I placed my wedding ring on top of the note sitting on the kitchen table. I felt a huge weight come off of me. I felt free. No more hiding the truth. I know I will have some baggage to deal with and some hurt to get over. But I have time to heal now. I just need some space and need to get her out of my life as quietly and quickly as possible. I'm not proud that I never confronted her more or pulled a confession out of her. I never got to yell and scream and curse her after confessing. I had come to the conclusion in my mind that she didn't deserve me. She disrespected everything we had. Our future plans are history. We were saving for a house and a future family. All of that is gone now. No going back. I don't owe her a damn thing. She can deal with the fallout, aftermath. I didn't have an agenda at all. I didn't contact a lawyer or anything. I just wanted to get some clarity. I really enjoyed my new trailer, and the mountainous air was exactly what I needed. In the following week, I took up running again, and it felt great to be alive. I never answered any of Kathy's texts while she was away. There wasn't much to respond to. They were just highlights like, "We just landed, we are having a team dinner," etc. She did send a few, "Where are yous?" and "Let me hear from you," etc. The day she returned home, my phone blew up. She texted me incessantly and tried calling me constantly. After the first day, her mother tried calling me. There's only my dad left on my family side, and we aren't close, so she didn't try to get him involved. After the first few crying messages, I never bothered to listen to the rest of her voicemails. Her texts consisted of, "What is this? We need to talk. I don't know what you think you know, but there is nothing going on. I'm not involved with anyone. I'm not having an affair." After a week of not responding, she finally leaves me a text saying, "I'm sorry, things got out of hand. I was involved with someone at work, but it meant nothing. I got caught up in my work and you were gone a lot, and I just made a mistake. I was going to end it." Haha, a mistake? This was the confession I had been seeking all along. For some reason, it just made me dislike her even more. Why couldn't she be honest? This wasn't the woman I had dreamed of building a future together. And mistakes don't last for what? 6 to 8 months or a year? At one point, her pleading for me to come back and work on the marriage became pathetic. She quit bothering me for a couple weeks. I still refused to answer her. I did not want her to pry anything out of me where I was living. I did not want this woman ruining my sanctuary. Then one day, she started sending me angry texts like, "You are a coward. You won't talk to me. You don't care about us. Please come home so we can talk. Where are you? I can come to you. Damn it, Paul, please. Let's talk and fix things." I don't remember all the messages, but they all seemed to be excuses and very little in the way of apologies. I let it all go in one ear and out the other. I finally changed my cell phone number. Update. Kathy sent me an email telling me she had retained a lawyer and was filing for divorce. I sent her a reply that said, "Okay, sounds good." This resulted in a flurry of emails demanding I come see her and so forth. She realized this wouldn't get her anywhere, and after a while she just wrote that if I agreed to an uncontested divorce, she wouldn't bother me anymore. I agreed, and several months later, finally, I was truly a free man. I never had to see her after I left our apartment. No closure for either of us, but it seemed like that was more important to her than to me. For a few months, I did think of her sometimes. And yes, the pain would appear out of nowhere. Like if I heard a song come on the radio that we used to listen to, etc., but eventually, I just stopped thinking about her. Update 2. Well, I am officially divorced. Things are really good now. As a matter of fact, I met a great girl. I was out on a run on the trail just down the hill from where I live. I helped her change a flat tire and we really hit it off. She is amazing and cute as hell, though a few years younger than me. She loves my lifestyle and calls me her mountain man. I'm in no hurry to get serious, but I'm not about to give up on women completely. I'm still up here in the trailer. I have no plans to change anytime soon, and I've simplified my life quite a bit. I love the outdoors. It helped me get over my ex-wife, the heartache, everything. I know everyone handles these things differently. I was lucky to not have children yet, and was only into my 3rd year of marriage, so I think I did what was right for me. You don't have to live your life with a cheater. If something like this happens to you, please, just don't dwell on it. Just move on with your life. It gets better after you work on yourself. I wish everyone the best life they can have. Just wanted to update on the situation I found myself in with my ex-wife and have rewritten this about 5 times to make it legible. As mentioned in my previous post, I was concerned that my ex-wife was trying to track me down in an attempt to reconcile or something. I had moved some 2 hours from where we used to live. I saw her last weekend in a coffee shop I go to frequently in the town that is near to where I live. I was suspicious that it was not a coincidence that she was there. Luckily, I was able to leave before she saw me. Update 3. I came back into town this past weekend to grab a few groceries and went to grab a coffee in the place I usually go to, as well as work on some documents I needed to fill out for work using their free internet. After finishing up, I left the coffee shop. While I'm walking towards my truck, I hear someone yell, "Paul!" I look across the street and oh shit. There's Kathy, my ex, waving at me. Armageddon had finally happened. I stood there in shock. She runs across the street and approaches me and reaches out to me, expecting a hug, and I instinctively hold my arms out with palms out. and she stops. She looks at me, really hurt. She then says, "Paul, I've been looking for you. I heard you moved out here and wanted to see you. Can we talk?" I feel like a trapped animal, guys. I really did. So I relented and said, "Okay, let's find a table or something and we can talk for a minute." She asks if we can go to my place, and I just flat out said no. She follows me down to a bench outside a little shop at the end of the block. She starts by saying how much I've changed and how she loves my new look, my beard, blah, blah. She liked how my physique had changed, how I looked so fit. She puts on a good act, and guys, she looked hot. She had on these little white shorts and a tank top and her hair in a ponytail like I used to like. My radar was on high alert, and I could tell she was really turning on the sex appeal. I had to really rein myself in here and see where this was going. She starts out by apologizing about the whole affair thing. She says karma really hit her hard after I left. Her company learned of her affair and basically made things so unpleasant that she quit. Her AP, who had a fiancé at the time, got a reprimand and was moved to another position within the company. He blamed her for his having to move, and she retaliated by telling his fiancé everything, which resulted in them breaking up. She lowered her head a little and started crying. I just sat there looking around, not having anything to say. She straightened up and stared at me for a bit. I asked her what she wanted from me. She wanted to tell me that she never intended to start an affair, that she felt like she was drawn in by all the politics and positioning in the company, and thought the AP really manipulated her with his charisma and power within the company, and that she stupidly thought she was using him as much as he was using her. She was going to come clean with me, especially after I accused her of having an affair. She hated herself during that time, and the after-work drinking was her attempt to medicate from the guilt, that right after I left her, she felt so foolish, so alone, like her heart just imploded with loss. She immediately broke things off with her AP. She felt that since I wouldn't contact her or talk to her, that she had to find me and see if she could make things right for us and if we could start over again. She knows we are divorced, but maybe we could have a clean slate. I just stared at her. I let her have it. I'm paraphrasing the conversation, but here it is. "How dare you think you can just come out here and think you can just wipe away all the shit you caused? I'm to forgive everything you did to ruin our marriage. I told you before, if you cheated on me, we were through. There is no forgiveness. There is no reboot of this relationship. You killed it. You destroyed what we had the minute you stepped out on me. How stupid do you think I am? I followed you one night and saw you go into a hotel together. Do you know that?" I then realized that I had been raising my voice, and people were starting to notice. She started to sob. She grabbed my arm. I let her cry on my shoulder a little, before nudging her away. She looked up at me. "I deserve all this. I know I do. Can you at least let me take you to dinner or something? I don't want to leave. I want to talk more. I want to make sure we have everything out in the open. I need time with you that you didn't give me before. Please, Paul, I know you may not want to hear this, but I love you so much. I didn't know how much I loved you until you left me and broke me. And I broke you just as bad. I can't forgive myself. I don't want to forgive myself until the day I die." She started hyperventilating and sobbing so bad that I pulled her up and hugged her. I know. I felt like that was the only thing I could do to maybe calm her down. At that moment, I realized I did actually break her heart, like she broke mine. I started walking with her, and then found a nice quiet path to walk on, and things settled down a bit. I then asked her how she found me and did she hire a PI or something. She laughed a little and said no. She thought about it, though. She ran into Stacy a couple weeks ago, and she asked her how things were going. Stacy let it slip that she saw me. Kathy made her spill every single detail. Stacy didn't want to tell her because I told her not to. But she wouldn't let her go until she did. But all she really knew was that she saw me here in town and that I lived somewhere in the vicinity. So she started coming here on her days off to see if she could find me. She really blushed when she said that. I kind of chuckled. That damn Stacy can't keep her trap shut. So we did go to dinner. We found a nice little place with a patio. I made sure we didn't drink anything. I didn't want any excuse for her to soften me up or claim she was too drunk to drive back. We actually had a good talk. Afterwards, I walked her to her car. She wanted to stay and pressed me hard on it and wouldn't relent. She hadn't been with anybody else since I left and swore up and down I was the only one she wanted. I told her no, it's still way too soon for me to go down that road. She begged to see me again, but I was non-committal. I gave her my new email address, but that was it. She wanted my phone number, but I told her no, you'll just blow it up with texts and calls. She cried about that one. She said she would be back in town next weekend if I was interested. I didn't say anything to that. She said she will email me and tell me all the details of when where. Before she left, I asked her point blank if she would forgive me if I had done the cheating. She sat there thinking and she said, yes, she would in time, but only if we saw a marriage counselor or if we could work through the healing process with lots of talking and maybe even a binding agreement. I said, okay, maybe I could do that 5 to 10 years from now. She said if that's what it would take, she would wait. She then took my hands in hers, looked me in the eye, and said something that really surprised me. She said, God damn it, Paul, I will always love you and will do anything to prove it. At that, she left. I'm still so shook by that she said it with such conviction. I still can't see myself back with her. I feel better, though. Right now, I can't even see her as an FWB. Maybe a friend, but damn, I just don't know if we could ever work out again. Don't call me a chump, because second chances are rare in my book. I went home and had a nice long run and a few beers, and felt I was in a good place now. Can someone guarantee me that she wouldn't ruin that? I don't know. I just don't know. It's too fresh on my mind, but I have the luxury of time to sort all this out and get some perspective. This will be my last update. To recap, my ex-wife did find me, and we did talk, after over a year of me ghosting her. Her intention in finding me was indeed to reconcile. To those that wrote to me predicting that I would be the typical bate blue pill fool and forgive her and fall back in with her, you will be sorely disappointed. She did write me a long email this past week, professing her love and regret for the affair once again. She wanted to come back out and spend the weekend with me. My response to all this was to shut her down. I have been perfectly content to live the solo life for now, living in my remote location, and keep my situation as uncomplicated as possible. I have enjoyed the company of several women and friends, and at 32, feel there is no hurry in changing things up. I have my own self-determination roadmap, and I intend to follow it. So in answering her email, I refused to give her my new phone number, I laid it all out. I told her no, I do not have any intention in reconciling with her. She made her bed, and I no longer trust her, nor do I know her any longer. I wished her the best, and will consider her a possible friend. Maybe someday, in a future, yet to be determined. My vagueness really frustrated her. So she replied with something very telling. She was, of course, thoroughly disappointed in my response. But she also informed me that she had accepted a job offer several states away, and her real intention all along was for me to come with her. She knows my job is remote, and I can live anywhere I choose, and she thought that I would consider coming with her, and in exchange, we would have a brand new start in a brand new location. She had little time left before she would be leaving, and wanted to see me in person and put the hard sell on me. Fortunately for me, I have to leave for business for a week, so our time is up. Thank God, so she will be gone from my life now. I imagine I will get a few more emails for a bit longer, but in time, I believe she will realize her time with me has expired, and she will have to find someone else, and she may cheat on them too. Just thought I would share the update. So guys, live your best life. Get rid of that old baggage and empower yourself to move forward. Good luck to you all.
Subscribe and ring the bell for more wild stories. See you next time.